Good morning, stamping friends. How is everyone doing today? It is Tuesday, November 10th, and I'm super excited to share some more projects with you. My name is Lorri Heiling, and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and I'm so happy that you joined us today. Before I get started, I just want to let you know of a deadline that is happening today. My Stamp-A-Stack for Christmas is going on, and I just want to show you the projects that we will be making. I finally got my order, so I finished them off and I can show you them now. So the first card is more of the elegant look, and it's a poinsettia on the front with our new curvy dies. So that's a fun Christmas card. And then just a little bit of stamping inside. So this, you would make 4 of these, and there's 3 different designs. The next design is kind of a non-traditional color, but I think black and white goes with every color. So I threw Christmas red in there, and then we turned the joy into a little snowman. And so that's the second one. You'd make 4 of that one. And the last one is one of my favorite sets, is our Gnome for the Holidays. And it says Noel with the G for the gnome on the front. So those are the 3 projects, and you will make 4 of each of these of 3 different designs, which makes a dozen. And with the class, you will receive a whole pack of Plaid Tidings Designer Series paper, a whole pack of dimensionals, a pack of Whisper White envelopes, a pack of linen thread, and a whole pack of pearls. Plus you will get the PDF instructions with a lot of photos, and then the 12 make and takes that I just showed you. So I hope you'll consider this. It's $48 for porch pickup, or you can have it shipped to you for $8. And just remember that I'm not able to stamp for you, but you can either substitute your own, or I do have a few add-ons on this class that you can check out when I put the blog post, so you can refer to that. So that deadline is today, so let me know by today, because I'm going to start ordering and cutting supplies. All right, the next thing I want to share with you is my project for today. It's a little Christmas one, and I went back in the archives and got Country Home. When this came out, I didn't really use it that much, even though I loved it, but there were so many new products, so I kind of pushed that one to the side a little bit, and then I'm going to pair it with Peace and Joy. I just needed some of the sentiments out of here. And the paper pack I'm using is called In Good Taste, which we have had since June in the new catalog. Look at all these gorgeous prints. We have very nice textiles and wood and brick and fabric painting. It looks like acrylic painting on a canvas, and some tile. It's just really good variety and lots of textures here. So we are going to start with a piece of gray granite, which is another one out of my archives. I usually run for crumb cake or smoky slate, but gray granite is just a really nice neutral color. It has kind of like a cement tone to it. And we're just going to cut it 4 1/4 by 11 inches and score it in half on the long side at 5 1/2. And I already scored that and folded it. This is one of those cards where I have not created it. I just have all the pieces here, so I'm hoping that it comes together. Now the next part, I took 5 1/2 by 4 1/4, and this went together like this, and I took our stitched rectangles, and I just cut out a rectangle in the center. And let me grab one of my rulers and see which rectangle it is. This one is about 2 1/2 by 4 inches. So that's the dimensions of that. Then we're just going to tape this right on the front of the card and just make a little frame here. And like I said, the dimensions are the exact dimensions of the front of the card, so that should fit nicely on there. All right, now you can guess this is going to go in like this, but we want to make some different layers and texture or dimensions here. So we are going to put some mini glue dots on the back that will pop it up a little bit, and when they're a little bit longer, I like to put ones in the middle as well. I'll go on all 4 sides. Some people wonder, well, should I get large dimensional, small ones? I use both of them about equal. I think I use mini a little bit more. They go a little bit farther because you get quite a few more, but the large ones cover a bigger area, so it just really is your preference. And remember, we also have black ones. If you're working with dark colors, you can always do the black ones. All right, now we're just going to put this right smack in the middle of the rectangle we just cut out, and that will pop that up. So we already have dimension to this card. Now, the next thing I'm going to do is grab my stamps. We are going to use, I guess I have used this a lot. Look at how stained it is. Staining does not hurt your stamps. It still stamps well, but it just kind of gets that worn look a little bit. So I'm going to take Memento ink and some Whisper white paper. Remember, Memento is the best black ink to use when you're using your blends, which is what we're using today. And I'm just going to stamp that because I'm eventually going to cut it out. But I want to show you how I'm shading. I won't do all of it, but some of the shading I want to show you. So these are the colors that I used. I used light and dark soft suede, light and dark old olive, dark shaded spruce, and dark just jade. This is one of the new in colors. So let's start with soft suede for the little cattails. And I always like to start with the lightest color. I'm just going to color the whole thing. And I just leave my caps off of my blends until I'm done, because then I'm half the time is taking the lids on and off. Then I'm going to go on the darker side, and I chose the side that has the dots as the more dark area. And then I'm going to go back with the light again, and I just like to go right on that little seam between the light and the dark, and that's going to blend it. And the blends continue to blend even when you're done, so you'll watch. It's like a magic trick. It'll keep blending even though I'm done making the lines. Now, the next color I'm going to use is, let's do the dark shaded spruce, and this one is going to be the fern. And I'm just going to go and just make small lines on all of them, but I'm not going to finish it because it will take me a little bit longer than I want to. So just go like that. All right, so that one's shaded spruce. That's all you do for that. Then for the larger leaves, I'm going to use the brush end, and I'm just going to wisp over these larger leaves like this. And this is going to be a Christmas card, as I said, so that's why I'm using lots of greens, and you'll eventually see the red that I'm going to add as the accent to make it more Christmassy. So just go like that. I'll just do half of it here. Now, we do want to do a little bit of shading, but this is the darkest one. I tried light and it looked a little minty, so I chose to do the darker one for the main, and then I'm going to go back with shaded spruce, the dark, and that's going to be our accent color. So you can just go and follow the black lines wherever you want. It's just going to give a little more dimension and definition between these lines. Okay. And then we're going to do Old Olive for the last color. Let me see. You know what? Technically, we don't have to do it because I decided it didn't have enough red. At first, I colored the artichoke in my original coloring, but I'm going to skip that because we're going to cover it up. Maybe I'll just put this in case we can see through it, but I'm pretty sure the whole thing is going to be covered up. But if you were doing this without a Christmas card, I would do light Old Olive and then go back and shade with dark Old Olive. All right, now the next thing we're going to do is add those berries, and that's where we're going to pull in some real red, and that's going to give a little bit of Christmas color, but you'll see I'm going to add even more in just a second. So we'll do all the dots, and then the last part, I'm going to show you the done one. Let me get my white paper because I want to show you a little trick. This one, here's the done one that I was kind of looking at. I did do that in the Old Olive, but I wanted to bring in a poinsettia because it is a Christmas card. So in our holiday catalog, we have poinsettia dies, and that's what I chose to use here, and it's the smallest one. And my glue is clogged, but that's an easy fix because you just stick a pin in there and unclog it, and it will come right out. Okay, so when you put this on here, just offset them opposite so it looks twice as big. If you want, you can use a bone folder and kind of curl the edges a little bit. Just go like that. And then I think we are gonna pop this up. Let me get one more dimensional for the back of it. And we're gonna put it right on top of the artichoke. And we wanna cover that up because we want this a little more Christmassy looking. So let's put it right like that. All right, it's getting closer. Now I wanna show you, when you put, you know, I did fussy cut this out, but you see how like a couple of them I started fussy cutting and I thought, oh my gosh, this is gonna take an hour to cut this out. So a little trick I discovered is if you take, gray granite is the color of the cardstock, of the card base. So if you just take it, normally this was white, and just go over the edge, it's gonna blend it in. Otherwise this would be stark white. For example, the one that I colored, when you cut that out, you're gonna see that, you know, like say you cut it around here like that, you're gonna see a white edge. So if you go in with the gray and just color in there, it's gonna make that background disappear in there. The color's still gonna come through, but you won't see that white outline. Otherwise you'd have to go in and out of all those little fern things to make it look really good. But by putting gray, you can kind of blend that background into the wood. And I'll show you what I mean when I put this on the front of the card. But we need to do the little canister that it's in. So all I did was stamp this in Memento, and then I'm going to take my little dauber again, and I am going to do a little bit of shading with the gray granite, and just do one side, usually I choose the side that has the little lines on it and make it a little bit darker. And then I'm going to do the other side too, because there are some lines over there. And that will just give it a little more, darker makes it go away from you, and lighter makes it come towards you. Then I would fussy cut this out, which I already did right here, save a little time. And then I actually took a bone folder and I just kind of curved a little bit like this so it looks more cylinder, like it's rounded, like that. Now let's start putting this together. We don't need that anymore. So remember, this is popped up, and I'm gonna put it right here. And all I'm gonna use is, where'd my dimensionals go? Right in front of my nose. We are gonna just put a couple on here. You don't need very much, but when we place it on here, we wanna try to keep that curve going that I did with the bone folder. So put it on here and just make sure it's nice and curved like that. So wherever those dimensionals are, it's gonna, you know, adhere there, but you can see it's still a little bit curved in there. The next thing we're gonna do is put our top on, and I'm gonna use the larger dimensionals for this. And you can see I did another one on the back side, but that's why we have two sides of cardstock, because if you ruin the first side, you flip it over. All right, now let's put that on the top, little topper. Now, remember when I was telling you about inking around the edges? See how the gray kind of blends in there and it's not stark white. If I wouldn't have taken my daubers and done that, you would see bright white, and it just kind of looks a little bit too much of a contrast on this more grayish background. All right, now we need a little sentiment to add a little bit more to make it look more Christmassy. So what I did was I just took the same wood, or it might have been from a different piece. Let me see if I can find which one it's a part of. No, I think it is that big one. I just had a scrap piece, but it's quite a bit lighter. And what I'm gonna do is take real red, And I chose the Sentiment Merry Christmas from that Peace and Joy set that I showed you already. And then I'm just going to stamp this. And this is, oh gosh, I don't even know. Let me check how wide this piece is. And that one turned out a little bit, do I dare stamp on top of it? I don't think well, I better try because it's a little bit light. We'll try one more time. Actually, that's not too bad. All right, now we're going to take our paper snips, which are right here. It's a little bit blurry, but it's not too bad. And we're going to make like a banner on one side of it. And I think I haven't decided if I'm going to make the other side yet. Like I said, I'm designing as I go. So I think either I could tuck it under, it's going to be too long. So I better do banner on both sides. This is not like me. Usually I like to have my projects mapped out how I'm going to do it, but this time I am totally winging it. All right, so that looks good. Let's just put another dimensional on here and one on the other side. And there's just one little thing we need to do after this. Also, if you see any products that you like that you might be interested in, please use my host code when ordering, and I will put the link to my Stampin' Up! Store for you. That helps me out a lot. And just like that. One more little trick that we're going to do is add the finishing touch, which is a linen thread bow, which I tied the knot already, and just place that on the glue dot, and you can kind of scrunch it down, and we will place this right over here in this little spot here. There we go. There's our Christmas card. Very country looking, isn't it? Well, I hope you enjoyed this project today. And again, if you see anything you like, I would love it if you ordered from my Stampin' Up! Website. And don't forget, last call for the Christmas Stamp-A-Stack. I would love to have you join us. All right, you guys take care, and we will catch you on Friday morning for another video. Bye-bye.